Hi everyone, welcome all to joining the today's webinar on mind mapping for effective conceptualization of ideas. My name is Ravali and I'm a part of team here at Turito. I'm joined here by today's speaker, Dr. Poonam Singh, one of the staff tutor at Turito, and Ms. Priyanka from Student Counselor Department. This webinar is an outreach program by Turito for students to help in developing their learning skills and for parents who are willing to give their children best education. Before we start off, let me give a quick overview of organization. And all you are aware, Turito is an e-learning platform and our vision is to provide quality education to every student by well-experienced faculty. Currently, Turito is available in USA, Canada, Middle East, India, Singapore, UK and Australia regions. And programs offered by Turito are NAPLAN OC and one-on-one tutoring services for math, science and English subjects in Australia region. And Turito exclusives are Turito offers interactive learning methods as per students' requirement, regular assessments to track the child progress, and also doubt clarification sessions for making their concept stronger. Turito also provides parent app access to make you a part of child's learning journey. Moreover, we have top 2% certified educators whom we partnered with to envision our mission. Before getting into the specific, let me offer a quick overview about today's speaker, Dr. Poonam Singh. Dr. Poonam Singh is a holder of PhD in Literature and Languages, and she is a passionate educator with a vast experience of 8 years in education industry. She has facilitated students for competitive exams and extemporized spoken English. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ravali ma'am. And it's always been a wonderful experience that whenever I connect with the team for any such good webinars, that absolutely is important for our generation to know and to get into. Let's start and talk about the first point that we are going to discuss today's session is mind mapping. So first of all, we have to understand about the concept. What is that and what are we going to cover in the session? So we will be talking about the elements of writing skills when we talk about mind mapping, because it is the core concept there. Then strategies to improve the definition and importance of mind mapping. So as we are aware that writing skills do require a lot of toil, a lot of imagination, lot of grammatical and structural sentences correction. So in that manner, we have to also come up with the correct idea along with the correct orientation that comes with the outcome that we desire. When we talk about writing skills, there are multiple different ways of writing skills that we in general write and use in our day-to-day life. And because we are now advancing our, you can say the classes, the grades, the years, the way we are moving forward to advance our learning, advance our classes, we always have to understand the gravel importance of writing skill there. So essays, articles, persuasive text, I could say argumentative text, all these discursive ideas, descriptive paragraphs, all these do require mind mapping before than that. It's just like planning a trip before going to it. It's absolutely the same way when you think about a kind of, you can say, prior planning on certain things. So mind mapping is the core important understanding the concept that everyone should understand. Now let's talk about what it is. What is mind mapping? So a mind map involves writing down a central theme and thinking of a new and related ideas, which radiate out from the center. Means we should always talk about the core of the concept of the topic, and then we have to radiate the orientations, the areas that we need to cover. By focusing on key ideas written down in our words and looking for the connection between them, we can map knowledge in a way that it will help us to understand the things in a better way and to retain the information. Because most of the time we forget what to write, how to what are all ideas to be incorporated. We do know something about the concept, but not entirely. So in that manner, putting out those points as a draft, or as you can say, as pointers is absolutely important, so that we should not forget anything to be used or to be written down in our text. So mind mapping is an effective means to take notes, and that helps us, and it gives us the brainstorm ideas. It also let us to talk about the ideas that we have in our understanding, and how or what else do we require, because we always have a generalized idea and we won't be able to get the correct vocabulary, we won't be able to get the correct connection, we don't know at times what to convey. We generally read the topic and we start generally writing about it without even thinking what I'm writing and where I'm taking my text to. So now it's no more you can say abrupt writing, it's no more unconscious writing, if I could say it. Mind mapping talks about and gives us the opportunity to understand the thing better, and it's not very lengthy process, it's just 5 minutes prior to whatever topic we are going to initiate or whatever we are trying to write. So mind map involves writing down the central theme. Now what do we mean by central theme? For example, if my topic is social media and I have to write down a paragraph on it, so what is the central theme? What am I trying to show or to talk about in terms of social media? That is the most important point. The theme is to be understood. Am I supposed to show the positive aspects of social media? Am I trying to show something related to a negative aspect? Am I trying to show something related to social media in general information? What is my concept? What I am trying to deliver? So in that manner, it always let us know that what is the central idea, the central theme. Then we think of a new. Why? Because all these concepts should relate to our future expectations. If we do talk about social media, we always try to suggest the better options dwell or connected with this. So what is going to do or come with this? What are all, if I could say, advancement social media brought to our lives? And how, in, for example, next 10 years, this is going to improve or to grow our lives in any which way. So it always gives us the idea of a new things. It also relate ideas and which radiate out from the center. So what is there in the entire text is been always shown by the mind mapping. Three important features that always there to be remembered whenever we talk about mind mapping. How to come up with that? So questions, first of all, what do we mean by questions? I do talk about all WH questions, first of all. So if I would say what, why, where, when, how, whose, which, all these questions needed to be answered in my mind mapping, in points, not in the entire structural explanation. So questions, arrangements. Now, what shall I arrange? The first paragraph, of course, depends on the introduction of the concept, the core concept. That would have the thesis statement that should talk about what I'm going to talk in the later part of my essay. So that should begin with the hook, thesis statement, and one objectory, or you could say important, crucial line that I'm going to deal in the later part of my essay. Then comes the body paragraph that talks about the arrangements. So when we talk about the arrangement, this is how are we going to arrange our order. And we also talk about the vocabulary. Now, what or which words are effective to use in that particular text. So when I talk about mind mapping, these three key areas, three features are absolutely important to understand. What are the WH questions which I need to answer in my essay? The arrangements of the ideas that I have put on my paper, and the vocabulary, because that is where we generally get ourselves backtrodden. We always found ourselves longed to. So these are important three areas which we always need to remember when we talk about mind mapping. We can go to the next slide, Ravalima. Yeah. So now how to sketch that? How to sketch a mind map? Write a subject in the center of your paper. Just take a very simple on a plain paper, circle it, make a circle inside and write the center idea. Sketch branches that point away from the center. It could be either way. At times we follow up You can say the bar graph kind of a thing that goes from down and at times from the top to bottom. So we can it's absolutely depending on how we are going to remember those things. It's our own creativity here too. So we then need to sketch the branches that point away from the center. Each branch symbolizes one thought or idea related to the subject. Something that one idea is to be elaborated when I'm going to draft its final copy. So I will write only the small ideas related to, for example, if I just talk about again social media. So in my body paragraph, what I'm trying to convey, why social media, what changes it had brought to us. Is it important or is it useful? What kind of disadvantages it also might have brought with itself? Is it affecting our lives? So all these questions in the points, as in if we can draft, if we can come up with branching, definitely it will help us to come up with the real and the adaptive, I could say, the draft that I want. So each after that, from each branch, more ideas can be branched off related to how long text do you wish to write. So for example, if I have three paragraphs essay, then I think one branch from the central idea could work. But if I, for example, I have to go more onto it and my word limit is going to be 500, then definitely I have to come up to deal with more intrinsic part. It is not just simply I will talk about what is social media. Then I will also talk about where it has generated, when it has been originated, what were the changes it brought, and after these many years, let's for example, after 5 decades, how it has improved our life, and after certain days or years or century, how it is going to impact our life. So it has to be widened and shortened according to the need of the text, and use colors and icons and images whenever possible, so that you can always imagine. For example, if in terms I may forget about something to be written, with that particular image I could relate, I could correlate my idea with that image, and then I would be able to write. At times color also would help me out in that. When I put something in red color, it can also talk about in disadvantages, because red always symbolizes some kind of a danger, something that is quite you could say anger, that shows up anger. So something that is negative can be symbolized by the red color. So colors are a very good technique, or you could say the ways that we can use when we mind map any idea, any topic in general. Now, in this, absolutely well said by the person, like if we could say, a woman with her man is nothing. Very important to understand the punctuation. There was a time when we have given this sentence to men, and that is what they absolutely annotated by using punctuation. So a woman without her man is nothing. So they punctuated like this. But when women were given the same sentences, what they punctuated here, a woman without her man is nothing. So see, here the impact of punctuation is so powerful. So once we come up with the entire mind mapping, then we have to come up with the grammar for particulars. The second point is that we discussed. So punctuation is absolutely important to give our expression the correct idea. Unless and until we generate our ideas into the effective mode, we should always keep on editing our and to look into our expressions, orientations, expressions delivery with the help of punctuations. My subject and verb have agreed to disagree. Subject structure, my sentence structure is again going to be important. She said you can get on the airplane. Now here the thing is, I said no thanks, I am getting in the airplane. So the preposition, what I'm using, the correct structure is absolutely important. So it's not only, we are not only going to deal with what the major concern is, we are also going to let you know about the important factors which are required in our writing skill, which will give us the correct structured platform to write our essay in a correct manner. Punctuations, conjunctions, transitional words, adjectives, adverbs, then compound sentences, complex sentences. All these are going to form a structural part, and I could say the structure of my essay. And that is how grammar is absolutely related and important when we talk about mind mapping too in writing skills. Now, why we should learn with definitely Turito? As we have ample of, I could say, ample of platforms available, again on social media and also physical too. So why Turito? Because here we are going to deal with children individually. It's not group learning. It's not going to be centralized pre-thematic learning. It is going to be one-on-one sessions. It is going to be the child-centric area. Here we'll be trying to deal with only the child's requirement. If, for example, I'm going to take up the curriculum the child has, I'm going to deal with also the problems the child might have faced in the previous time. I will try to come up with the areas that where he is finding problems. So it's not just telling and teaching the child the concept, it's also about correcting him or her on the areas where they require improvement. So with the logic, that's the most important part. With the logic, like why are we using that and why not? Why are we using adjective instead of adverb? Why are we talking about mind mapping instead of just straight away writing the text? Definitely, we have to understand every important thing in logical meaning. So here we will not provide any such class which has a motive of one size fits all. We are going to talk about the child hyper personalized class, which is going to be all depending on the child's requirement. And we believe in mindful. Child should go with something at the end of each and every session. It should not be something that child will wait for the other session to complete. So if, for example, I'm going to take preposition in a session, child would be thorough. That has to be made sure in that concept. And in this, that's why we say it's always mindful learning instead of handful of learning. And we always give the clearance of the doubts, the errors from the core concepts, from the ground level. Learn here, children can get the opportunity to learn live. Here we would have interactive small group sessions as well if they want to enroll. And also we preferred, because we are forte and we are here been known for our one-on-one session, that to be only deal with child's requirement and important adaptability, the learning skill and the pace. So that is why Turito, I wonder. I would always suggest that's why one-on-one sessions. And we always make you exam ready. We give comprehensive material for the exams. And if not for the exam, for example, if the child is not in NAPLAN, it's not enrolling in NAPLAN 2, but we always also give rigorous training into an explanation, also the part that we might have covered in NAPLAN courses too. So though we have NAPLAN course individually planned out, we also target OC material. So, but yes, we also teach these things into our regular sessions too. And collaborative teaching of concepts, reading, writing, grammar, and speaking. So every time, if there would be certain topic taken for writing, we always try to let the child understand how it is to be dealt with the reading skill, how it is to be dealt with grammar, and how it is going to be important in our spoken English as well. So it will be always collaborative learning. Thank you so much for listening to me so patiently.
Thank you, ma'am, for detailed explanation about the topic. And let's move to Q&A session, ma'am. And before starting the session, and all the parents and students who have joined the webinar, please feel free to drop your questions at Q&A section. And let's start the session, ma'am.
Yeah.
We got some questions. And the first question is, will mind mapping help in the time management?
Yes, absolutely. It will, because if you mind map from the very beginning, it will only cost you 5 minutes. Like if, for example, the topic is given and I have to finish my topic in 30 minutes of time, Only 5 minutes execution at the beginning at the initial time would give you have to give for mind mapping, and rest 25 minutes you have the core detail example, or you could say the idea that what are you going to dwell in or what are you going to deliver in your writing.
Yeah, ma'am. And the next question is, how can I help my child develop reading and writing skills in early childhood?
We should come up with the storybooks, that too with the dialogues. And at times we have seen a comic books. So if, for example, we could get certain books, so definitely from the very beginning of the childhood, we can develop the interest in children, wherein they can play the role play, the favorite cartoon characters. They can also asked at times to write the cartoons that they see on their notebook. So when they draw, they write dialogues. That will definitely improve their interest in reading those dialogues from the other books. So I think that could be an initial phase, I could say, hack to be used.
Yeah, ma'am. And the next question is, when should we? Oh, 1 second, ma'am. When should we introduce mind mapping to children? How and how to do it?
When should we introduce mind mapping to children? To be very honest, the moment we should start writing paragraph. Once we change our structure from sentence, simple sentences, and try to come up to the paragraph. No good reason for, let's say, if I'm writing it for 5 lines, still my child should know what is to write, because this is the most important question children always have. Like, what am I supposed to write? I'm not getting ideas because they don't know how to start or how to begin with. So mind mapping can be always helpful from the very beginning when child knows to connect two sentences in order. So I think from the very beginning it would be helpful.
And the next question is, how to make my essay interesting?
That's very good. By utilizing all the points that we discussed in terms of parts of speech, though at times we find grammar to be very difficult to be get a notch on, but yes, adjectives. And instead of writing simple sentences that I always ask my children to avoid, we always prefer children to write compound and complex sentences along with transitional words. Transitional words could be taken as connectors, or you can say the words that connect one idea to the other, that connect one paragraph to the other. So we always prefer children to come up with these important areas. And once they start inculcating these points, adjectives, the different, and one more thing, literary devices. That was the previous topic that we discussed in the previous webinar. So literary devices again is going to be very important part in my essay writing and could be made interested.
The next question, ma'am, what does centric mean?
Sorry?
What does centric mean?
Centric, yes. Centric means the center idea. Centric means whenever I talk about the topic. For example, there is a situation given in the context, and I have been asked to write an essay or to write a paragraph on it. So I need to first of all understand what is the center or the centric idea of that particular concept, that particular example. And then when I get to know, I have to put that in the center on mind mapping, and then I could come up with a sketching out the branches that goes for the different areas and the varieties of ideas that I would like to put into that theme. So that is what centric is.
And next question is, how to improve creative writing?
How to improve creative writing? It's not only going to be, I'll give you a very simple example. For example, we all eat rice. That's a very simple example. We all eat rice, the plain rice. So it absolutely the sentence, if I could say. But what and how am I supposed to make it creative? By adding different flavors, right? In that rice, by at times color, at times different spices, then comes up with certain vegetables. Same thing happens with here in writing too. Though it's not cookery classes, just an example for here. I could add adjectives, literary devices, sentence structure could be changed, the one that I've just discussed a few minutes ago. And moreover, I need to use transitional words. So if I will not use certain elements into my writing, I will never would be able to create it more creatively. It will be always anonymous and boring content to be shown to the teacher. So when we start adding these areas consciously, definitely creative writing would be improved.
And the next one is any tips on how to write a lengthy essay, especially if we don't know much about the topic.
Yes, for that, mind mapping is helpful. And there are two different ways of mind mapping. First, that what we discussed today, and the other is question based that I discussed earlier as well when I was talking. So I have, let's for example, HWH questions. So all paragraphs, if I could come up with 4 questions each, I would be able to definitely talk about, take my essay lengthy. What is the need? Why? Where? When? If I could answer in certain points in the mind mapping, and then to take those points into a chronological order, into the effective event series, and then write into paragraphs, definitely you'll be able to get too much of content to write. At times we have to take out certain lines because that is too much into essays. So definitely it is going to help you.
Next question, ma'am. What aspects would be tested while evaluating an essay by the examiner?
Yes, of course, they evaluate on the basis of creativity. They evaluate on the basis of structures. They evaluate on the basis of how well did I use literary devices in there, how well I have crafted suggestions and evidences, how well I have put facts and evidences, and how nicely I have put the entire series of event in an order. So these things have been evaluated, and moreover, the execution part. Like at times, for example, I don't know much about the topic, but I have crafted with the vocabulary, the expression very well. I think examiner is going to be definitely influenced by the writing. So these are certain points that we can keep in mind to definitely improve, and to let the examiner check our you know essays and give us better grades on that.
Next question, ma'am. Can you teach my child through NAPLAN?
Yes, for sure. We have NAPLAN courses, and we do teach NAPLAN classes. We do take them, and there are certified NAPLAN teachers. Definitely, we are there to help you out in this.
And next question, ma'am. How to self-evaluate or self-improve after writing the essay?
Yes, that's very important. Always take a break of 5 to 10 minutes. Whenever we come up to write anything, if we keep on reading it, we end up having mind-boggling ideas that absolutely confusing and create hoax. So we need to avoid that. Whenever, for example, I'm not very good at writing for, let's say, in essays. So I'll write one because it's just I'm talking about the practice. I'm not talking about the examination hall, or I'm not talking about at school or the assessment. So when I'm talking about practicing it at the beginning as a layman, so try to come up with one paragraph, give yourself 5 to 10 minutes of break, come back, read it again, and then see whether if I was able to come up with all the ideas which I have noted down in my mind map structure, and if not, then I could read again and write certain points. Definitely reading your text at the end, like before final draft, it always help you, unless and until I'm you could say proactive in writing it, and I'm let me use this word pro into writing it.
Next question, ma'am. How to self-improve mind mapping?
How to
Self-improve mind mapping.
How to self-improve mind mapping? That's the very good question. Now, for example, I'm good painter, so or I could make different ideas. Creativity comes with inner self, so I should come up with different ideas for different topic. Colors could be taken in a different way. So when we talk about how to get the different ideas in mind mapping, we always suggest to come up with different structures, create triangles, create circles, try to give different structures into your mind mapping figure, and you'll get to see that how well you are improving into better execution of the next certain points or certain concepts.
And the next question is, can I get more details regarding this course? Priyanka will answer this, ma'am.
Yeah.
Priyanka?
Can you please repeat the question?
Can I get more details regarding this course?
So the thing is, after the webinar is completed and within 24 hours, we'll be the team will be in touch with the participants, and we'll schedule the demo session for them. And after that, we can go ahead. And generally, we provide 2 days a week class, and but the frequency of classes can be decided by the parents and the child on the basis of requirement.
Thank you, Priyanka. And ma'am, the next question is, when should essay writing to be introduced to students?
I will always suggest students to start writing essays from grade 6, 5 or 6, because in grade 4, 5, we start writing paragraphs. So if at that particular time we introduce small essays, definitely it will always help us, help our children in advanced writing when they come to grade 9 and 10. And at times, because we generally talk about the NAPLAN exams, that is in year 3, 5, 7, 9, that will always make the child ready beforehand, and we will never find any difficulty when the child isn't going for grade 9, because there we at times get prompt writing. So if my child already knows how to deal with it at the very beginning, from the very initial areas, definitely at the end, when he is writing that in year 9, he won't find it difficult for himself or herself.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you. No more questions as of now. We'll be ending the session now, ma'am. Thank you for detailed explanation about the topic and explaining all the questions with patience, ma'am. And we'll be having a webinar in the upcoming week as well. We hope to see you all again. Until then, if you have any queries, please write us at care@turito.com. For more info, please visit our website www.turito.com. For better learning and better results, please join Turito. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. And I always suggest to have mindful of learning instead of handful. And we are always there to help you out with Turito. Thank you.